Welcome to the IPAF webinar, IPAF 2020 review, and what does 2021 hold? My name is Giles Councell and I'm the Director of Operations for IPAF. My co-host for today is Romina Vanzi.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining this webinar. My name is Romina Vanzi. I'm the IPAF Head of Regional Development and Mass Climbers. I'm glad to have the chance to host this webinar together with you, Giles, and on a review on the highlights of this, I would say, special year, and a walk through the main projects for 2021. But before we get into this webinar itself, we would like to thank the sponsors for our webinar series. These are Hainoa, MCS, Jeslifts, Green Power Design Astri Company Limited, and Sunward Equipment Group.
Yeah, thank you very much to them. With their support, we've managed to make these online events possible. Today, this webinar will be held with simultaneous translation in 7 languages. The translation is only available when watching live using FreeZoom on the desktop or the mobile app. It will not be available watching on your web browser. There will be an opportunity to ask questions throughout the presentation in the Q&A section on screen, and there will be a session at the end where we will be able to answer some of those questions. So first things first, let's have a look at a bit about IPAF. So IPAF is a non-for-profit making organisation. It is set up to promote the safe and effective use of powered access worldwide, being the collective voice of the powered access industry. We have over 1,400 members in over 70 countries and regions, and members include manufacturers, rental companies, contractors and users, which makes us fairly unique within the trade association industry. IPAF member manufacturers make up almost 90% of the powered access equipment on the market.
So let's talk about the IPAF mission. Everyone knows that the IPAF mission is to promote the safe and effective use of powered access. We support the introduction of powered access as a safe method of working at height in regions and sectors where these machines are not yet used. And in some countries where they are widely used, we help manufacturers, rental companies, and users to use the equipment safely. So how do we achieve our mission? One of our activities, for which IPAF is very well known, is the Operator Management Training Program. But this is not only the only activity we have to raise safety awareness. We have a portal for accident data reporting. From the accident statistics, we identify what are the major issues, and we develop focused safety campaigns like toolbox talks. We have the End the Access poster that is a very visual and simple tool to deliver safety messages to the users. And we have guidance documents. We also work in several regions on influencing and interpreting legislation and the standards. We have also a series of publications. We have our rental market report that we develop with the support of our rental companies members who participate actively in this study, providing data. This publication that we publish every year results to be a very interesting tool to analyze the market trends. So all the tools, all the activities that IPAF does are available to our members, and it is thanks to you guys, to our members and their support that we are able to achieve our target. Yes, only with the help of you guys, we can support the IPAF activity worldwide. So, as we said at the beginning, this webinar is an overview of 2020 and a summary of the projects for the next year. So, why are we going back to 2019? It's good to remember where we were at the end of 2019 before we started this, I would say, challenging 2020. So these are some highlights of 2019. We closed the year pretty good with 1,422 members across 72 countries. We had over 90 events worldwide. And do you remember those events that were real face-to-face events with handshakes, crowded events, and with the opportunity to network? In terms of revenue, well, our revenue was plus 8.1% compared to the previous year. We launched our safety campaign Street Smart, and we completed our extended reality strategy for the power access training. As you know, in IPAF in the UK, the UK was one of our main markets. But year after year, as you can see from the graph, our contribution from non-UK countries raised. The non-UK contribution to the turnover of IPAF reached 42% in 2019, and even 45% in the first quarter of 2020. Concerning training development, in 2019, we count on a fantastic achievement of our training department, together with the hard work of dedicated work groups. We launched the MUP for Manager training, or called also supervisor course, fully deliverable via e-learning. And just at the end of 2019, Peter Douglas took the position of CEO of IPAF. So everything was really promising. I'm sorry, I was not sharing the graphs with you. Here they are. So it was a very good year for IPAF and for the industry in general. But let's go now to 2020.
So yeah, Q1 was a very busy one for IPAF. We were running events such as IPAF Elevação in Brazil and IPAF Elevation in Switzerland, and also taking part in many exhibitions, including ARA and Conexpo. We ran 9 professional development seminars for IPAF instructor advancement across all regions. We released the Global MUP Safety Report, which I will come to later on in the presentation. And we continued with trials on the use of simulators for IPAF's advanced course PAL+, putting candidates through both the simulated practical test and the real world test, so that we could analyze its effectiveness. IPAF's roadmap for engineers was finalized, incorporating the recently launched lift truck and powered access Trailblazer apprenticeship, which gave a clear route for engineers to ultimately achieve IPAF's Competent SS Person course, CAP. Training for engineers has been a priority for the UK Country Council for some time now, and this roadmap fills an important gap in the market to ensure that we have enough skilled technicians to inspect and carry out basic routine maintenance, as well as qualified engineers with specialist knowledge to repair and overhaul equipment, and to carry out periodic inspections as required by safety standards. So Q1 was looking good, and performance was in line with budget and our plan for the year.
Right, so end of Q1. Now we go into Q2 and Q3. So I don't have to add anything to this symbol, I think. So in late January, we heard some news about the COVID outbreak in China, and we were attentively observing the development. Then, 1 month later, Italy was one of our first mature markets to be hit by the pandemic when it was not yet called so. 3 weeks later, the disaster hit our main markets, including the UK. So how did IPAF respond? I will divide these actions into 3 groups: the internal response, the member support, and the training support that we delivered. Consider that the IPAF revenue fell 90% in a 2-week period between 23rd March and the 5th of April. When face-to-face training and events, they stopped. They stopped worldwide. Yes, all imminent events, they were canceled, postponed, or disrupted, like the case of Conexpo in Las Vegas. So, like our ex-president Andy Stoddard likes to remind, in life and in business, the quickest has more chance to survive. So, yes, we applied an imminent and strong cost reduction strategy. We put all non-essential projects on hold and applied a series of internal measures, such as a pay reduction. It agreed with all the employees. 25 out of 29 UK employees were fully furloughed under the UK government scheme. And similar measure called Kurzarbeit was applied in our branch in Switzerland. Our country representatives agreed a pay reduction, and all the audit activity was suspended. And to ensure the federation survival, we had to focus on debt collection. The rule of the survival of the quickest gave it its results. We are here today, and we were able to overcome the crisis. So this is, in short, our internal response to the imminent COVID crisis. So in terms of member support, well, suddenly all imminent events were cancelled, postponed, or turned into virtual meetings. Suddenly, our representatives could not visit our members anymore. Suddenly, they could not have face-to-face meetings. So, and suddenly we were counting on a heavily reduced staff, probably like many of you. But in the middle of this storm, a storm that we had never seen before, like many of you as well, we had to continue to support our members and go on with the activities. So the IPAF summit was cancelled. Well, at that time it was postponed. So we had our first AGM annual general meeting and council meeting via web conference. All the committees, work groups, they were rescheduled in virtual format. And during the first phase of lockdown, we have been in open dialogue and with weekly meetings with other associations like the ERA, Building UK, EWPA. And we are also able to finalize a memorandum of understanding with Platformer, the Turkish MUP Rental Association. So we decided to make a quick and straightforward survey to see what our members needed in that special moment. And the first response were they wanted more guidance on how the coronavirus issues apply to their sectors. They wanted more webinars, more communication like newsletters. So now, some months after, we can say, and we are proud to say that we executed most of the actions that our members were expecting from us. In terms of webinars, this activity was not new to IPAF. We had many webinars in North America in the past, but somehow, anytime I was proposing why we don't do a webinar to other representatives, the response was, yeah, why we don't do a face-to-face meeting? Until the day that they had to do that, because the face-to-face meetings were interrupted. So we had 24 webinars in 7 languages, these directly hosted by IPAF. We had over 2,000 registrations and over 3,400 views from 62 countries. We also participated in 7 webinars hosted by other organizations. And during these webinars, we covered a huge variety of topics. The first phase of the webinars, of course, was focused on COVID-related issues: safe training, hygienization, safe use of MUPs. Then everybody became an expert about hygienization, distancing. So we started to focus on webinars on topics of common interest for our members. And these topics were the same topics that we would have addressed during our face-to-face visual conferences. Like always, we counted and we are counting today on sponsors to support this intense activity of webinars. The recording of these are still available on our website. You can see the link on the screen, and you can watch them if you need to. So these were the main actions in terms of internal response and member support. We had also to support our training center in continuing training where possible with the COVID restriction. So I hand over to you, Giles, for training support.
Thank you, Romina. Yeah, so another area we focused, as Romina's just said, was supporting our training activity. Firstly, IPAF looked at how we could help members eliminate some contact between the candidates, and something that we became more obvious as a solution was the use of virtual meetings and training remotely. IPAF worked with its training centres to use digital solutions to ensure training could continue. It was always important that any solution must be secure and must ensure candidates cannot keep the test. We ran a MUPS Manager course trial with the training centre and used Microsoft Forms to share the exams digitally, and this worked very well. And we also knew there were other alternative solutions available. We also encouraged the use of our already successful e-learning platform for the operator course and our MUPS Managers course. To increase the benefit of e-learning for our training centres, we also implemented a facial recognition software into the operator course, which we'd been using within the MUPS Managers course. The benefit of this was that it removed the requirement for candidates to undertake a theory test in the classroom on the practical day. So we created guidance documents to support our training centres. Firstly, a step-by-step guide on remote training, as I've mentioned. I do believe that remote training is a great option, not only in the pandemic, but also an ongoing choice to maximize the amount of time that can be used for practical training in a day. IPAF also created an extremely useful guide on resuming training for MUPS, mast climbers and hoists. This covered planning, such as risk assessments, preparing for training, communicating with the candidates on new rules and requirements, preparation of the facilities, cleaning of the machines, PPE, social distancing, and then how to run the practical test safely. And also thinking about how to end the day and prepare the training centre for the next day. So as I said earlier, we encouraged a lot of our training centres and candidates to make use of our e-learning provision, which saw a dramatic increase in the number of people choosing this option. When we look at the global total for successful completion of operator e-learning now, it is at 27,000. Our e-learning is available in 7 languages with more than 30 different legislation variations. So also within Q2 and 3, we looked at accident statistics. Back in March, at the beginning of the pandemic, IPAF released its Global Safety Report. This report gives key findings from the Federation's analysis of accident statistics. It has accident incident reporting from 25 countries around the globe and is translated into 8 languages. The IPAF Global MUP Safety Report identified MUP incidents that most frequently end in fatalities, and they are falls, electrocution, entrapment, and overturn. So moving forward to September, IPAF relaunched its accident portal. IPAF has been recording accidents since 2012. Whilst the powered access industry is one of the safest ways to work at height, there are always areas for industries to improve, and the same can be said for the powered access industry. The accident portal is a great way for the industry to obtain the latest data on accident trends. which in turn can direct IPAF's key objective, which is to promote the safe and effective use of powered access. Some of the ways that IPAF communicates these key messages include guidance, toolbox talk, workshops, webinars, and obviously IPAF's training programs. All data is submitted securely, and you can either register yourself, your company, or if needed, you can report anonymously.
So now let's go to Q4. So we made it to Q4. So near to the end of the year, we can see that the PAL card trends have shown a good recovery. We're happy about that. And November dipped slightly due to the COVID wave happening in several regions. However, year to date, we are only 25% below budget in terms of PAL cards. As regard membership, yes, we gained 133 members, but we also lost 109 due to the global crisis of this year, which brings us to 1,451 members. So we are still around 50 members down in comparison to the original forecast. After some months of trial, let me show you the right slide. After some months of trial, we have been able to launch a PAL Plus course, a course for advanced MUP operators, completely deliverable on a VR simulator. So in this special year, we have also achieved an historical milestone. So the number of PAL cards, so powered access licenses, worldwide surpassed 2 million, with 800,000 valid cards available around the globe. So despite the economical limitation, we have been able to finish and to publish our MUP rental report and organize a webinar on this topic that can still be viewed on our website. So with the situation recovering a bit, we have been able to recruit new member of staff, new member of the senior management team. We have Amanda Beckett, who is covering the position of Head of Finance and IT, replacing our interim Head of Finance, Andrew Beige, who will be able to happily retire. And Brian Parker joined also our senior management team as Head of Safety and Technical. Regarding regional development, we have been able to fulfill 2 vacancies. So taking the position of Swiss representative is Christine Lell, working for IPAF in different positions since 2011, but now taking the challenge of representing IPAF in one of our main markets. And in Spain, Javier Cerezo is new to IPAF, but very experienced in the industry and an IPAF instructor. So the COVID crisis slowed down some of our activities, but did not stop completely our activities. Our training department has been able to launch a completely renovated load and unload course, now available in English, but in the process of being translated in other languages, hopefully next year. So we have finished with the 2020. So now let's go and leave the 2020 behind, but bring with us all the lessons learned. So we have been working hard in developing a robust, simple, but strategic 3-year plan for the Federation, with a slightly changed vision for IPAF. So the vision is to be recognized as the collective voice and leading safety organization for the powered access industry globally. There are some clear and sound objectives. Improve safety in the industry, to be the collective voice of powered access, to engage with members through a global and targeted communication, to accelerate the IPAF digitization strategy, and to diversify our offering and introduce other revenue streams. Because 2020 taught us that if the training pillar fails, it's hard to maintain the house up and running. So we grouped our 2021 projects in these 5 objectives. So let's start with safety. So
how are we going to improve safety in the industry? What are we going to do in 2021? A quick overview. We're going to talk to you about accident reporting, the International Safety Committee, marketing campaigns and targeted campaigns, new courses, and also a look at accident reporting. So let's start with accident reporting. Accident reporting is still one of the main focuses going into 2021, as it steers almost everything we do. The objective for 2021 is to ensure that the administration, maintenance, and management of the database produces timely reports for its members. They're really quite clear, the objectives. Essentially, what this does is it enables IPAF to analyse incidents involved in the preparation, delivery, and the use and collection of mutes and mast climbers. The data then gives us typical incidents and most frequency injury rates for each category of employee. As previously mentioned, the information is then used to update training courses that we deliver, create safety awareness campaigns, toolbox talks, and guidance. Nobody likes an incident or an accident, and certainly not if you know the person. But reporting incidents and accidents and near misses, as you know, is key to learning the cause and preventing future accidents. So we're continuing with safety. We're looking to form an international safety committee this year, and introducing this new international safety committee to use the data gained from accident statistics to further promote safety of all powered access worldwide. This committee will lead the way to developing and supporting a global marketing campaign, raising awareness by providing reports through press and social media to the world on the main reported fatal incidents in mutes and mast climbers. We will also have a targeted safety campaign, as we do every year, and for 2021 we will be concentrating on falls. We also have a plan to cover electrocutions in 2022, and in 2023 the focus will be on overturns. Okay, so with regards to new courses, as I've mentioned, all of the courses that we create are on the back of the accident statistics, and one of the areas that we feel needs some more focus is site surveys. So we will be creating a new site survey course in Q1 of 2020. This will be e-learning and instructor-led, and will aim to increase the knowledge and awareness of safety principles of site surveying, which will enable the better machine selection and ensuring the right machine for the job. For Q2, our focus will be on renewals and upgrades, and renewing and updating the renewals and upgrades course for the operator course. This will also be in e-learning and instructor-led. And then moving to Q3, we will be creating a new PAL Plus theory presentation to complement the addition of the simulator practical test, as Romina mentioned. This will also be e-learning and instructor-led. For mast climber and hoists, we have a plan for developing a CAP course for the mast climber and hoist industry. This will assess trained engineers to ensure they have the competency to undertake periodic inspections for mast climbers and hoists. We will also be developing a managers for mast climber and hoists. This will be targeted at site managers, giving them all the information they need to be able to manage sites with mast climber and hoists on them. And for 2022, we will see the introduction of an installer course for hoists.
Thank you, Giles. So concerning our aim of representing the industry and being the collective voice of the industry, these are the projects. Apprentice Service Technician. So what is that? As you probably know, IPAF had developed an exclusive career pathway to train MUP service technician and MUP engineer to achieve industry recognized qualifications. We have two clear paths. One is training and qualification to support service maintenance technicians, and the second is qualified engineer route leading to the competent assessed person qualification, what we call CAP. The UK will run the first ever power access specific engineering technician apprenticeship in 2021. We will also look into the possibility of developing similar schemes in other regions. Next one is CAP, Competent Assessed Person. Presently, this scheme is available in the UK and Spain. So this course is intended to provide guidance for MUP engineers or mechanics to become competent assessed person to plan, manage, and carry out thorough examination or inspections of power access equipment, with the context of the current legislation and the local legislation. So we will target some region for the introduction of this scheme. We have UK and Spain. We'll introduce more countries on this. Then IPAF Rental Plus International Development. IPAF Rental Plus is a recognized industry quality mark for rental companies. It's like an audit. The aim will be for 2020 to develop this program in regions outside the UK. We will target some regions such as Middle East and Singapore as a start. Then the international standard development. This is an area actually that we have been involved since time, but we will intensify this activity in 2021, ensuring that IPAF is at the forefront for standards design and supporting the members in the specific regions. So from participating in the development of voluntary standards to lobbying local legislation, this will be the focus in 2021. In terms of environmental sustainability, well, as an industry association, IPAF should be leading by example in environmental sustainability. We know that many of our members, they have their own policies about that and strategies, but many, they do not have these available, and they are looking for advice in regards to their responsibilities around this. Therefore, IPAF aims to provide a new benefit for the members by helping them identifying sustainability solutions, advising and signposting. So in addition, we have to start cleaning our house first. So IPAF will conduct an audit and its own carbon footprint and apply our environmental policies, strategies and targets.
So moving on to digitisation, IPAF always likes to be at the forefront of technology, and we've got some exciting projects going on for 2021. The first of those is the ePAL idea. This is in partnership with IPAF member track unit, we are developing an operator-focused app to digitise the PAL card. Also, for the first time, being able to communicate directly with operators. We recently surveyed our operators, MUP operators, and 1,200 MUP operators recently responded. 98% of them said they would download and use an app. So what's it going to contain? The first release will be in April 2021 in English, with select regions rolling out during 2021 globally. The app will include access to IPAF licenses, including the PAL card, a logbook for machine usage. This will be manual entry at first. It will also provide a digital operator safety guide that we issue at point of training. and it will also give guidance and safety best practice direct to the operator. As well as this, we are also investing heavily in paperless testing. The aim of this is to decrease the amount of processing time for training centres and internally, and to increase the speed of the production of the PAL card, getting it to the candidate as quickly as possible. It will also provide better reporting of results for both the theory and the practical test, which enables us to continuously improve our product. We will also be able to get feedback straight from the candidates on the courses, and therefore developing the courses better.
So let's go now on diversifying our revenue. So these are the project. The IPAF Certified Global Accreditation. This is a scheme that recognizes the training developed by other organizations through an audit of their training program. If the program passed the IPAF quality standards, the training program will be considered IPAF certified training. At the moment, we are offering this solution only in the North American market. In 2021, we will intensify the take-up in North America, but also we will investigate the opportunities for the IPAF certified training to roll globally. Market development in China. That's good news, probably from some of the people who are listening. They asked about that. So China, after the US, it's presently the country with the biggest MUP fleet, counting on 200,000 units. So a lot of operators. Although we don't have really reliable statistics, we know that many accidents are happening for human error or lack of training. So IPAF training in the format that we have today is not reaching the amount of people that we want. So IPAF will change the strategy in China and focus on providing a tool of very easy access to the operators, like our e-learning, to reach thousands of untrained operators by a single click. We're thinking about launching this via the WeChat platform. Market development in the US and Canada. So for 2021, the focus will be membership support and development. We will conduct a specific North American membership survey to better identify the needs of our stakeholders. A communication campaign on safety messages and principle to general contractors through a series of webinars supporting users as well to meet their responsibilities with the new NC standards. We will also look into the development of a couple of guidances for the US market, such as the safe use plan and safe work procedures. Then last but not least, requested by our members since time, the Global IPAF Online Shop is a project to be launched in 2021. We have trialed a shop for over 1 year for Switzerland, and our members in Switzerland are able to order training material and leaflet. Now we want to expand this to other countries, allowing members to buy training material, leaflets, but also a variety of IPAF merchandise. Then on engaging with our members, we will carry out a worldwide market sizing, but we will start with the UK. The aim will be to make a step further on our rental reports and make something specific. The aim of this project will start in the UK, as I said, and we want to understand the share represented by the MUP rental fleet and the overall fleet, in which sector the machines are used. Webinar series. So following the trend of 2020 and with the experience we gained, in 2021, we will develop and deliver a series of 1 hour long webinars, regular intervals. We will also resume the physical events, I hope, as the situation allows. This will include internal and external speakers in our webinars, and we will focus on issues and topics of relevant to the industry. So our plan is to have most of the webinars translated live in 7 languages, but we hope to add more languages in the future. So another project will be to develop localized member services. IPAF provides general services to our members, as you know. The aim for 2021 will be to improve these services, make them known to our members, and develop new localized ones from which our member can benefit country by country. We will also increase the contractor involvement. Contractors, you know, are a key stakeholder in keeping our industry safe. More involvement and engagement with contractors will be the focus in 2021. Many contractors during the years, they have been asking questions to IPAF and they have been asking for advice. The plan is to develop a strategy to support them in a dedicated manner and also in a tailor-made manner to encourage them to join IPAF as members. And then a new membership category for IPAF safety professionals. So these have been asked since many years. Safety professionals are another important stakeholders in the industry. We will engage more with these professionals and create a dedicated member category for them.
Thank you, Romina. As you can see, we're going to be very busy in 2021. A big thank you to our sponsors, Hinoa, MCS, Jeshlift, Green Power Design Astri Company Limited, and Sunwood Equipment Group. The webinar series has been extremely popular, averaging 700 views per webinar. The webinars are created a focused platform to reach their target audience with a wide scope of industry representatives from around the world, including representatives from manufacturers, rental companies and suppliers, also health and safety bodies. If you are interested in sponsoring, please contact Faith Cobain. You can see her details on the screen now, or visit the website on the link below. So we're now going to move on to questions and answers. We've had some questions coming in during this presentation, and also some were sent before when you registered. So let's start with the first one, Romina.
I will stop sharing, Giles, so they can see our faces.
Okay.
Bigger.
If you have to.
All right. So one of the questions we had was why we don't have Turkish translation. I think we will look into adding this in the next webinars if we have a big audience from Turkey. So we will do our best, and we will add more languages if we have big audiences from other countries. Giles, you have
so the next question that came in was, has there been an increase in the use of MUPs as a safer means of access over the last 3 to 5 years? Quite simply, yes, is the answer to that. We've definitely seen the use of MUPs increasing over the years, and it continues to do so.
The next question we had was in Portuguese, and we're asking how the work at height regulation in Brazil, or are the work at height regulations in Brazil in line with other countries? Yes and not. So I would say that Brazil is quite advanced in terms of regulations, and there are new regulations coming on, but not still at the pace of the UK, to say, if I have to say, but they are on a good level, I would say.
Okay, the next one is, does IPAF plan to continue to promote e-learning rather than classroom-led theory? IPAF encourages both types of learning. There are some benefits to e-learning, but there are also some benefits to instructor-led. So IPAF will continue to promote both of these forms of educating the candidates.
We have another question about how many instructors we have worldwide. I think this question is coming also from Brazil. At the moment, worldwide, we have over 1,000 instructors, active instructors. There are probably more that are no more active, but 1,000, that's the answer.
Okay, so we've got a couple of questions that are fairly similar, which are asking the same thing. They're asking both Romina and I to predict whether or not the industry is going to increase in 2021 and whether or not the coronavirus is going to have an effect. I would say that both Romina and I are extremely positive about 2021. In our opinion, it's going to be all fine. So that's our forecast. But
do you have the crystal ball, Giles? Right. We're just looking at the chat as well with the questions. Giles, do you have more questions?
I do. There's a question here that is there a plan to update the operator training course? We review the operator training course on an annual basis. We don't change it on an annual basis, but we continue to review it in line with what's coming in from the accident statistics to ensure that we cover everything that is required. But we are planning by the end of this three-year cycle to have done a full review of the operator course. But there is no plan for changes in 2021.
Right, I'm looking now at the live questions, Giles. I see that one of the questions is probably for me. What are your plans to have the e-learning in other languages? So our plans is, as I said during the presentation, is for sure next year to add to our 7 languages, to add Chinese e-learning. And let's see how 21 goes, because it's a big investment, but the idea is, of course, to add more languages to our e-learning, because we saw that it's a fantastic tool, especially in this period. Giles?
Yeah, so the next one that I can see is how will the digitized app affect the RFID track unit access system for machines? We are still looking at how the app will be used for access control. RFID is the technology that's built into the smart card, and the smart card will still be available, but we very much will be making sure that access control is incorporated within that product as well.
Right, thank you, Giles. I'm looking now at some questions in Spanish. So we have been asked if we can create the category of health and safety professionals, a PAL card for them. So the answer is we're not creating a PAL card. We are creating a category for them. But the idea is also to run like webinars and training facilities for them. So these kind of professionals, they can do the MUPS for Manager course, for example, and they will receive an IPAF certification.
Okay, so there's a question around IPAF Rental Plus. When will the international audit be the same as the UK? It absolutely will be, but any requirements that are referred to UK law will be not removed, but they will be changed, so they refer to either local legislation or to international requirements.
Looking at some more questions in languages that you probably are struggling with. So you do the English ones. I've seen one in French. If our training is covering local legislation. So it depends on from what country you are writing to us. Some of our training is covering local legislations, but not every single country. So in some countries we have the courses in what we call legislation neutral. So we leave it to the instructor to integrate the local legislation on that part of the course.
Okay, so we have one with regards to asking the question, will training centres need to make any changes when new courses are developed? I don't envisage that. The training centres that we communicate out to the training centres the requirements of each course, but they already have access to both the e-learning and the instructor-led for all of our courses. So no, I don't see any requirements for change there.
All right, I have a question in Italian about the facial recognition. If it is available in the Italian e-learning, no, it's not. We are looking into the possibility of switching it on, even though there are some issues. So I suggest that for further local information, you contact our representative for Italy, Maurizio Quaranta. He can give you more information. I was about to pronounce the name in English, Quaranta.
Okay, so we were asked a question around how long did we extend the validity of the PAL card? We originally extended it for 6 months, and we still do have that available in regions that are still heavily affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. In most of our regions now, we have no extension of the PAL card because training is up and running in most regions. So at the moment, there is no extension in most regions throughout the world.
Okay. I'm just looking if we have more questions in other languages. I think, no, we can go for the English questions then. Giles, do you see any other question that you want to answer?
Yeah, there's a question around will IPAF promote and manage familiarization videos to be placed on that are available now. We are looking at that. We are looking at how we can make those videos available. I certainly know it was one of the requirements for the North American Regional Council to make these videos available. We just need to look at how we can do that to best get the information out to operators. But it's certainly something that we're looking at doing.
We have a question about reporting an accident. Would you expect a rental company to report an accident caused by a customer, or would this be the customer obligation? So, frankly, I mean, what we want is that report goes into our reporting system. We expect the rental company, because it's an IPAF member, to report this. If also the contractor is reporting this is even better. But in any case, please be assured that if we have a double reporting, it will not count as 2 accidents, it will count as 1. So we are checking on this all the time. We have still 5 minutes of questions. Giles, if you see any other that you want to answer.
I'm looking at some. A lot of the ones that are left, I can't read because they're not in English. Unlike you, Romina, I can't read in many languages. There is a question around the ANSI standards and how they've evolved, and can we monitor whether or not the addition of new safety requirements have had an effect on safety? And I think the answer is not yet, but we certainly will be able to if we continue to monitor accidents. So we do look at that, but I don't believe that we've had any real indication of any change yet, because they've only just been introduced, the new standards.
Right, I think that one question that we need a crystal ball again. So, are we resuming exhibition in 2021? We would like to, and there are many planned for next year. So, if there is an exhibition, be sure we will go. But we don't know. So, at the moment, we hope that we had enough with this COVID-19. So, we hope that next year we can go to exhibitions and hug people and shake hands.
So there is one last question, Romina, unless you can see any more, which is, can IPAF implement more support to rental members, e.g. manufacturer days? Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the answer to that is we are always looking at more ways to be able to support not only our rental members, but all of our members. And the best way for us to be able to know what you want is for you to get involved. There are many ways for you to get involved through committees, simply sending requests in. All of your requests are listened to and taken to committees to develop the 3-year plan that is currently underway. So the answer is, tell us what you want, and we certainly will look at how we can put that in place.
Right, so I think we can close it here, right, Giles? What do you think?
I think so. Thank you very much to everybody for joining. I hope you've enjoyed the webinar. It's been a pleasure working with you, Romina, as always. And I'm looking forward to all meeting you face to face and needing to wear these sunglasses because at the moment I haven't been away from the UK since March. So I look forward to seeing you all in 2021.
Right. So also I would like to thank everyone, the attendees, our sponsors, the team of 14 interpreters that have been behind the screens, and also the IPAF staff on the backstage that made this webinar possible. Thank you very much to all of you guys. So season greetings to everyone, and to everyone celebrating Christmas. We wish really very merry, different Christmas in many regions. So see you soon in person. So I will wear my Christmas.
Have a good Christmas, everybody, and see you in the new year.
Goodbye.